freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing. Yeah.
Hand on the wheel, got my pistons pumping, all 800 horses running. Oh baby, 125 in the middle of the night, got my engine thundering.
Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome to tonight's race. It is the 2023.1 season. We have the Sim TC series. Ooh, let me just hide that very quickly. I don't know why that's still showing. We are on round 4 tonight at the Hungaroring. Ooh, let's see, there's a lot happening. Let's maybe just switch for some better viewing. Yes, so I will be your commentator tonight. It's me again, Sas from the race station here in the booth. Looking forward to this race. Each of these Porsche Cup races has been spectacular in my opinion, and I always look forward to watching them and just generally experiencing some of the coolness that comes with it. We are still busy with the last few minutes of practice. Ooh, someone's coming into the pits. Switch again. My cameras are just freaking out a bit. We are on round 4, so Oh yeah, oh yes, we are still in practice, so there's still 2 or 3 minutes left. I'm gonna sit and ramble a bit until we are ready to go. And I mean, part of that is also the traditional, like, let's go and have a look at what to expect with this race. So if we just go browse through our info a little bit. Weather. Oh, weather. It's a nice cool 16 degrees Celsius average temperature. I think it is going to make for an interesting race. If I remember correctly, this is the point where, or the temperature rather, where tire degradation and graining can be a little bit of a problem. There is around about a 5% chance of rain. The rain level config has been put to 5%, with a cloud level of 45%, and the randomness is quite low, so you might see the sun dipping away and coming back. Odds for a wet session is very, very low, though. I think it was less than 10% is calculated by that by the tool that we're using. In terms of the layout, we are at the Hungaroring tonight. It's one of those, dare I say it, it's a deceivingly difficult track to get right. Maybe not the best in terms of overtaking opportunities, but nonetheless, I think it's a track that I personally can quite enjoy, and it's a nice tough one. Turn one of the biggest corners where you're probably going to be seeing some overtaking opportunities. I have seen people make it stick through turn 4, but other than that, turn 12 and 13 is probably the most likely. So it's a little bit of a train going around this track, but it is so technical. That chicane at turn 7 and 6, like the very first chicane there. Oh, actually, sorry, that's the only chicane. It's a very quick one, but if you run wide, you can really risk ruining your race. And then turn 8 and 9, very flowy section. Turn 10 as well. Into turn 11, you have to kind of carry enough speed there to make sure that you get through everything fine and dandy so that you can survive. Okay, so I think that's that. While we get some formalities out of the way, we're about halfway into the season. If you're keen on racing with us, head on over to www.simracesa.co.za. You'll find some links there. One of the links is, let's just go back to another person still driving. One of the links out there, you'll find.
Exit. We've got 14 minutes to get the job done. Your brakes are cold, be careful.
Shut up.
They're going so slow that we can't hit our tyres.
Yellow flag. Incident clear. Green flag. Track limits. This lap will be deleted.
Right side. Stay right.
Fastest lap for Govender, 147.59. The guy ahead's last lap time is a 148.
Left side.
Blue flag.
Clear left.
New fastest lap for Wilkin, 147.05. E14. Your brake temps are good. Sector 2 is yellow. Green flag in Sector 2. Sector 1 is 0.48 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.44 off the pace. The guy in front has just done a 147.36. Yellow flag sector 2.
On your left.
Green flag.
Clear left.
To one. Ooh, big slide there. That correction has cost him a bunch of time. He was 6/10 up on his delta. He's now only 1/10 up. Definitely some more time for to be had on the table there. Dan's Odyssey. Hello there. Right, I think Martin will be able to improve a little bit, but not as much. I'm just gonna hop down to Mr. Sheldon's Thunder, down in P19, but right now he is 1.2 tenths up on his delta, showing that there's still a bunch of time to find. Just over halfway through the lap, approaching the sector.
Sector 2 is 1.9 seconds off the pace.
I was getting out of your way, but
Sector 1 is now green.
Sorry. Have you got rear grip or not?
I'm cold at the rear.
Sector 3 is
I
0.6
haven't set
off
a
the
time
pace.
yet, so.
Yellow flag. Green flag, all clear. You're looking your right front going into the chicane.
On your right, clear right.
Incident in Sector 1. Sector 1 is yellow. Sector 1 is green. Yellow flag. Green flag, you're clear of the incident. You're 2 tenths off the pace in Sector 1. You're looking your right front into turn 5. Yellow flag, stay sharp. Green flag, you're clear. Green flag in Sector 1. Sector 2 is 2.9 seconds off the pace. P15. 2 tenths off the pace in Sector 3. Yellow flag. Incident clear, green flag. Yellow flag. That's a new fastest lap for Wilken, 146.24. Clear of the incident, green flag. Green flag sector 3. Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace. That's your best lap in the session. Sector 3 is 0.34 off the pace. You've got half your fuel left. Yellow flag. Incident clear, green flag, yellow flag.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I
Okay,
Boys.
guys. Enjoy.
Let's have some fun. Permito.
Racing, all forms of racing. We as a quote unquote league, we host 3 different categories. One is the Sim GP series, which is in Assetto Corsa using the RSS. Ooh, is that the hybrid 2022 model? I can't remember right now, but it is essentially Formula 1 and Assetto Corsa. And then our 2 other series in ACC. Currently watching Sim Cup. These powerful 10 tops, tricky cars to drive. I'm just gonna put it on the helicam for us. You get a little bit more of a bird's eye view of what's going on. Yeah, so Sim Cup is the one series, and then the last one, the big one, the Sim GT series, where we race the GT, the big GT3 machinery. It's the only series currently with more than one split. So we have a Div 1 and a Div 2. And it's actually, I feel it's quite fun. The mountain was not kind to us last time around. But I look back at it and I still feel that it was an enjoyable race to race, albeit things went a little bit south. But also that's the mountain. If you have a clean mountain race, did you even really push the limits? I have to be really, really honest there and ask that. Yeah, so there's different types of racing for different people. I forgot that there isn't collisions on during this parade lap. Almost thought that someone's going to run into the back of another driver. But there's racing for almost everybody out here. We also do have a little fun track day server that we hop on, just set some quick laps and see how we can get around, just have some fun with one another. And I've also I know that there's been a little bit of chatter around rallying. I'm personally maybe considering looking at what we can do from a rally perspective. Maybe we can set something up as a more casual thing to approach. But yeah, we are focusing on the Porsche Cup tonight. These are absolute beasts of machinery to drive. Yeah, they're absolute beasts. You have to be very respectful with how you drive them. A little too aggressive in the throttle, and you are gonna slide it. And by slide, I mean likely spin. That was my experience the last time I hopped into that car. But it is an absolute joy to race. It's white knuckle fun.
I think you're on the right here, Olivia.
How is it? I'm coming.
Good luck, boys.
Thank you, Sean.
You too?
Go.
On your left. Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. You're in the middle. Hold your line. Clear right. 3 wide, you're in the middle. Clear left.
He's on your inside.
Car right.
Yellow flag.
Still there. Clear all round.
Who is that?
Considered clear. Back to green flag.
The black one. I'm not sure. Vulcan.
best or easiest track to overtake on. Luckily, these cars aren't so aero-dependent like the F1 cars, so we also shouldn't be too worried about that. Mark runs very, very wide. I am sure that must have been a warning. If I remember correctly, this track is kind of tough there. You can gain a bit of time by going wide at that exit. I might have to come and check in on this battle a little bit later. Stay with them for now, or we're rather going to hop back to Ronald Childs. He's currently being hounded by Mr. Christy Simon. Charles running slightly wide there. Christy taking a different line, maybe more bumps than he anticipated initially. Currently looking like the bottleneck here must be P11, Flip van Sail. There's a little bit of a train forming ahead of these guys. Flip is under pressure from Roxanne at the moment also. Maybe not driving as fast as he can. Again, I think from a strategy point of view, things are pretty stock standard. We're going to be expecting most people to be running as long as they can with no tires taken. Just a quick splash and dash at the end there. Keeping in mind there is a pit window for this race, and it's a 40-minute pit window that starts 10 minutes, well, that opens 10 minutes into the race, and it closes with 10 minutes to go. Ooh, Flip running very, very wide there. That's allowing Roxanne to get side by side. Flip does have the inside line, though. Will he go for the outbraking maneuver? No, he doesn't. He falls back in line, concedes the position, says, cool, yes, I made the mistake. But you rather not make any moves here that might lead into tears. But he is on the back foot now. Greg Hofart already on the attack, trying to hound him as much as possible. Stopping back Chris Bernardi and Gideon Bernardi, the Bernardi Alphabet Racing, I must say, from a stock standard ACC livery, that does pop nicely. Maybe some weird colors there, but I think it pops, and that's what's important, standing out from the crowd. But Gideon and Chris and Francois.
V12.
Car right. Hold your line. Clear right.
Good pass. The pit window opens in 2 minutes. Increased to 0.9. fastest lap for Wilkin, 146.25. The pit window opens in 1 minute. P11. The driver in front of us is Hennebury. Pit window open. The car in front is De Villiers. The leader's just done a 146.16. Yellow
I'm
flag.
out, guys.
The incident's clear. Green flag. The gap to De Villiers ahead is now 2.2. Sector 3 is green. The gap behind is now 2.2. New fastest lap for Wilkin, 146.10. about track limits. The leader has just done a 146.00.
Back to the battle. Johan van der Merwe losing out there into turn 1. Ryan Barrington-Smith hasn't made himself disappear just yet. So I'm not holding my breath just yet. I am going to bump to Sean Strydom. He's currently a good 1.5 seconds, 1.3 seconds ahead of Charles Wilkin. And Charles Wilkin is a good 6 seconds ahead of Ryan Barrington-Smith. So there's a decent gap that they're just building on top of and seeing what they can put together. Okay, I'll bring back some car volume. I am afraid that as soon as I start switching between cars again, that it's just going to happen. But I have to follow the battles. I'm just going to hop back to Chris Bernardi. Currently under pressure by Leon van Vieren. Leon's front there looking a little bit second hand, so not 100% sure what happened there. Leon currently in the 404 car. I do see some contact with the 404 on my highlights list. I'm actually starting to think it's because I was on the onboard view, and that was causing the problem. Gideon Bernardi currently 8 tenths up, so he is about 5.5 seconds up the road. Chris has fallen off of him, and Francia Bernardi has also... Oh, they might have been involved in that contact that I was trying to look at earlier. Okay. Leon trying some slightly different lines there, trying to just give himself a better exit, but not able to make it work just yet. Okay, I'm hopping forward to Endron Governor and Nick Hodgson right now. Endron under a lot of pressure now by Nick, who's only 2 tenths, almost 3 tenths behind him. Nick keeping that tail, that nose right under the wing of Endron. Let's go for the wide shot. It's quite the gap once the speed builds up. Indran just taking that slightly slower line there. But this is the ebb and flow of this type of racing. You have sections where you're slightly better than the other driver. You have sections where you're slightly worse than the other driver. And it evens out to make it really, really tough to overtake on this track. Gregory Hofart and Sheldon Stander, side by side. Sheldon kind of just letting him go there, but Gregory goes very deep into turn 1. Mind you, he does have the inside line. He did have a slightly worse exit though. Does Sheldon leave him space? He does. Gregory slides a little bit wide, and I think there was a little bit of contact, but nothing too bad. But Gregory stays ahead. Ooh, what's going on here? Looking like Charles Wilkin is putting... Oh, backmarker traffic is starting to play a role. The gap to Sean Stratham quickly opened up. Which car is that? Let's switch to Charles quickly. Runs very, very defensive and peeks back the inside line. I suspect that might be 65. Yes, that's James Leach Sr. Right, back to this battle. Ardis Boyce currently the cork in this snake. Indren's not quite fast enough to slip past him. And that's making it life more difficult for Nick as well as Mark Hennebury. Nick, slight sliding there. Does Mark go for the move? No, he doesn't. Just putting Nick under as much pressure as he can. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle and a twitch there. But up ahead, Nick Hodgson and Indren Governor are also having a little bit of a moment. They seem to be keeping things pretty clean now, and it's allowed Hodges to just eke out a little bit more breathing room for himself, not to worry too much about what's going on behind him. He can just focus on driving clean laps.
Yellow flag. It's fine, mate. It's just a scrape. You're locking your fronts going into turn 5. Incident clear. Green flag. The car in front of us is Leach. Ahead is now 3.0 seconds. P13. That lap was at 148.28. To Leach in front is now 1.8 seconds. Good consistency, keep it up.
Overwhelmed that everything's happening and everybody is driving, and this is AI that I could have previously predicted, but now it's a human being who's behaving slightly differently. It just feels so daunting. Once you've done it a few times, it gets easier, and then once it gets easier, your pace starts to improve and you get better and better at the whole racing thing. Right, I see Gideon Benari in the pits, so we're at the halfway mark. That is the other strategy that I've seen people follow. Just to hop back to Charles Wilkin and Ryan Barrington-Smith. That is the other strategy that I've seen people follow, is to do a 50-50 pit stop. I'm not sure if they are doing that with tire change as well. Maybe it makes sense. I don't know. Charles does look to be sliding a little bit more. I'm starting to wonder if he's not as light on his tires tonight. And that's maybe what's causing his issues. It might also just be that he's not necessarily getting lucky with the... Ooh, that's a back marker. Do they rejoin safely? Yes, it looks like they did. I don't see yellow on track, so... Ooh, that big moment. I think that might have been Christy Simon, actually. Yes, Christy Simon had a little bit of a moment there. Always nerve-wracking when you see moments like that unfold, as a driver can so easily slide back across the track if you're not careful. Just applying the throttle a little too aggressively, trying to make it back onto the tar. Indran and Nick still proving there's a lively battle between the two of them. Race-wise, they're also neck and neck, 47.9, but Nick's best lap time is 2/10 quicker than Indran's. So Nick has a little bit of time, but I don't think quite enough. I wouldn't be surprised if you need around about a half a second pace difference to make an overtake stick. Other than that, ooh, Nick slides very, very wide. What happened there? Was that just a get on the throttle a little too hard, too eagerly? Okay.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel. The gap to Leach ahead is now 1.4 seconds. The stewards have warned us for cutting the track. Keep it between the white lines. Yellow flag, green flag, incident clear.
James Leach's car looking like it's got a bit of scuff marks there already. Ooh, who's that exiting the pits? One of the... Oh! Does James hold on to it? No! Little bit of bashing here and there against the rails. Hopefully not too much damage. I do want to see if there was maybe a bit of contact, so let's go back 30 seconds. Ever exited perfectly. Oh, he just lost it on his own. That's what the what's that called? The AstroTurf can do to you. Get a little too eager. Car is fully loaded on that side. You step on the throttle, especially in a car with no traction control, rear wheel driven. You're gonna have a bit of a slide. You have to be very, very careful. Okay, so that was Sean Loureiro that was exiting the pits. Not the race leader. That's Sean Stradom currently. His best lap time a 45.9. Not sure when that lap was driven, but it is a quick one. But he is, what, 10 seconds clear? 12 seconds clear of Charles Wilkin right now. 11.8 seconds as it pops up now. Johan van der Merwe. Ooh, what happened to Ryan Barrington-Smith? Something happened. He has lost the back of Charles Wilkin now. Ooh. That car is looking very, very twitchy right now. Can't see that wheels are overly bent or damaged. Minutes left in the pit window. Okay, let's hope this is a race between Yuri Cordier and Mr. Ronald Childs, both of them having taken their pit stops already. Ronald's fastest lap time almost 2 seconds quicker than Yuri, so Ronald should be able to make this overtake stick. That's making me curious. Why is Ronald so far behind? He must have lost time taking tires. That's the only explanation that I have for this. When did Nick get past? At the chicane. Ooh, Ronald has a slide into the barrier. Yes, what I've been saying. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Make sure that you're the one that's more consistent than the other driver. So Ronald losing out to both Nick Hodgson and Hardesboy, so that's promoting Nick into P5. Although, of everybody there, Charles Wilkin, the first in the top 10 to blink and go pit, it seems. No, Sean Loureiro probably was the official first top 10 driver to go pit. But Charles Wilkin exiting the pits with a decent amount of space. And he is gonna be... Where is Johan van der Merwe? Johan is making it... He's right in the middle of Sector 2 now. So Wilkin losing out quite a few places. But he has pitted now. I'm sure he's now just trying to make sure that he can get the overcut. Sorry, the undercut, make it work. There's a little bit of clear air ahead of him, so if someone was able to call that out to him, that his pit stop will put him into a safe spot, that was probably a really good call on his part. I don't think it's going to be enough to close down a 12-second gap to Sean Strydom, but it can maybe help close that gap. Sean Strydom in the pits. And I'm just going to stick with Sean for a quick moment because I'm curious what his pit stop's actually looking like. Ah, 5 seconds stationary. That is a very quick splash and dash. So Sean not taking the bait, deciding to exit, to go follow the lead of Charles Wilkin, not putting himself into undue danger right now.
10th position. The gap in front is increasing. It's now 6.9. Rejoining in front. You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now 13 seconds. That lap was at 148.90. Keep digging, this isn't over yet. 15 minutes remaining, 15 minutes to go. Smith is pitting from position 2. We think he'll come out a little way behind you. As a car exits in the pits, heads up. Look out for the pit speed limit. We should come out into position 12.
about almost a second pace difference between the two of them. Flip van Zyl is in the pits. It's going to allow Martin Groenewald to slip past him. But Martin also one of the drivers that they are yet to pit. Ryan Barrington-Smith exits the pits. Where? Behind Sean Loureiro. Eight seconds behind him, so well clear of Sean Loureiro. It's making me now try to remember who was P1 and P2, well, pole second and third on the grid. I can't remember if Sean Loureiro was up there. But Johan van der Merwe, leader, currently out. Going to pit. Nick Hodgson staying out for one more lap. Quickly checking Johan. I'm stationary. Stops. Ooh, that was a slow pit stop. Took a bit of time to shut down the engine. But that
closes in 2 minutes. P12. Behind is catching. The gap's now 13 seconds. He's faster than you through turn 1. Stewards have warned us about track limits. Keep it between the lines. The window closes in 1 minute. Remaining 10 minutes. Pit window is now closed. Gone out of track limits. Keep it between the lines. You're gaining on this guy. The gap's now 11 seconds. The car ahead's pitting now.
Of all the cars, last one to pit. Although I don't see how this would count towards clearing the mandatory pit stop. Oh, it's a long stop. He's probably fixing some damage now as well. Come on, Dylan. Careful with the rejoin. Patiently. Unfortunate. Little more attention. I think often it's easier to just run to the outside of the track, make sure that you're not caught out by that. But he does. That is James Leach trying to make his way past him. He does. The gaps have expanded quite a bit, yeah. Jeremy de Villiers is now about the biggest battle that we're gonna see. I'm quite curious why Mark Henneberry lost so much. Why he lost so much lap time there at the end. Because he was well ahead of Nick Hodgson, and he's now what? 10 seconds behind him? Or was it just the luck of the draw? Pitted early, and it just didn't work out for him. Ultimately, I think the magic window there is if the cars behind you, however many seconds behind you, have pitted, to create that gap where you can pit and have a little bit of free air. That's when you can think of pitting early. But it is a risky strategy, because if you misjudge that gap just by a little bit and you end up with a train of 4 cars ahead of you, it's really, really tough to get that done.
Five minutes remaining, 5 minutes left. Nice and smooth with that throttle. Keep it balanced. That lap was a 1:49.28. Front is now 10 seconds. Yellow flag. Sector 2 is now yellow. 10 minutes of fuel remaining. Track limits. Watch those lines. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes. Green flag. You're clear of the incident.
Whatever, how do you stack up those decisions? Because then the person that was right behind you suddenly isn't there anymore as a benchmark. And now Charles Wilkin is what, 16 seconds behind Sean? I wouldn't be too surprised if there isn't too many drivers behind between them, maybe 2 or 3. So if Sean is looking at his relative timing window, you'll see Charles there, and that kind of that does still help with giving you a little bit of insight into how the race is going and what the other driver's pace is. But it's hats off. I just wanted to praise Sean tonight, because this was an absolute beaut of a drive in a car that isn't really easy to drive on a track that isn't easy to drive. Like, really, really well done. And he crosses the finish line with 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen. That said, I do want to hop back to Charles Wilkin, who's always been willing to bring the fight. He has been bringing the fight to Sean quite a bit. I'm not even going to speculate on how past rounds have gone. My memory fades way too quickly to comment on that. But driving to a P2 finish also is no easy task. Loads of drivers put him under pressure at some point. Maybe Sean or the knowledge of Sean up ahead is putting him under pressure. It is a tough cookie to crack, and judging by their best lap times and their current lap times, they're very, very evenly matched. Sometimes it's just one of those things, luck of the draw. Like I said, with blue flags, if the driver in P1 manages to get lucky and get to a back marker at a place where it's easy to overtake, it might not then leave the driver in P2 in a position to easily overtake, and they have to kind of sit behind the slower driver, losing time. You almost get worked up and frustrated with the situation. You have to be very, very patient with what you're doing, and that's maybe what I'm trying to highlight right now. That's a very twisty, bendy section. You have to be very mindful of what's happening there, and it was only at the nice longer straight that Charles felt comfortable passing. You have to show that restraint. You have to show that.
Nice one, Sean.
Ooh, boys. That's. I had a bad pit stop because Wilkins. Yeah, he pulled a big gap on me after the pit stop. So
Yeah,
I thought it very good.
Decide this. What's this guy donutting here?
Schwem is still like coconuts.
Ja, van der Merwe. He ran me white in turn 2.
Yeah, I was right behind you guys for that. Okay, let me save this replay. Ooh,
P11. Okay,
there you
we're
go.
done.
Nicely done, buddy.
Yeah.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet. Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get